All right, guys, can you hear me? Hello, hello. Okay, 1 second while I update the live. Yo, what's up, Evan? Yeah, I don't know what's happening with my Streamlabs, but it's completely off. I'm trying to put a thumbnail into the onto YouTube so that people can see a thumbnail when they click on the video, but it's completely lagging out. So I need to get with Streamlabs support today to fix it. But for now, this will have to do. Wow, Foot Locker is up 82% after being announced that Dick's Sporting Goods might buy them, or is acquiring them. I mean, that is pretty incredible. I'm really debating what to do here with UNH. I'm currently down 25% on this position. This is the first time in a long time that I've had a position that has declined this fast. And normally I wouldn't be so concerned about this. First of all, it's not a huge position size, which is fine, but because it's an individual stock. But they are getting wrecked for Medicare fraud right now. So I think what's probably going to have to happen with this position is I'm going to have to take a 25% L on it. Not the end of the world, but yeah, I think I'm going to be selling this position today. But yeah, anyways, guys, let's continue on with the live stream. So London low got swept from yesterday on NQ, and we also were able to create a new London low, obviously. Let me see something here. All right. So we tapped into this daily gap here, and I think this is actually an opportunity for more bullishness. Again, yesterday we had that 5-minute inversion that I talked about. You guys can see where I entered, and I took a quick $160 profit on this. I did not want to wait. I didn't want to wait for this huge fair value gap to have to rebalance, which in the end it did. My first TP would have gotten a hit here, but I would have gotten stopped for break even on the rest. I was only in with one contract on this in my funded accounts. So I quickly took profits on it. But technically, this would have been where I took profits because I would have taken the first one. To be honest, that's what I said in the stream yesterday. And yeah, then we never hit that secondary daily gap. So I'm thinking possibly today we are going to be able to come up and hit those. It was PPI this morning. Let's go ahead and see what happened with PPI. Okay, so pretty decent sized news candle. We missed the data lows, which I'm not a huge fan of. Okay, so as far as upside right now, I am not a huge fan of upside until this data low gets swept, unless there was an SMT with ES. So let me just check real quick. PPI, no. So the data lows on ES have not been hit yet either. So I'm not a huge fan of any longs until that gets swept. So whatever happens here, I'm not going to get induced into this until I see this low get swept, and then we can go long potentially if there's an A+ setup. If I go to the daily chart, again, you can see the daily on the right side of my screen, but I'm looking for this daily fair value gap to get filled right here. And that comes up into that secondary quadrant, or the 75% or the third quartile quadrant of the weekly fair value gap. So that's what I would love to see today. All right. So yeah, we're just going to be patient. Not going to go crazy until I see something A+. But right now I'm looking for this data low to get swept, and then we can potentially look for longs. All right. Yeah, guys. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm looking at UNH. It's down 15%. I am cutting my position right here. I am not gonna be risking any more downside on this. 25%, not the end of the world, but it's not great. But it is what it is, guys. I have to manage risk on these positions, even though, I mean, could we recover from here? Sure, but I don't want to be part of this healthcare situation with the Medicare fraud and everything. So I am selling the position here. I'm gonna let the Discord know as well, obviously, for those who maybe aren't in the live stream. But this is the first time I'm pretty much ever cutting a long-term position. And again, guys, I'm waiting for this 5-minute inversion. Once we get this, then I will be looking for a potential long. After the sweep, obviously. So I'm going to label this as an IFUG. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, I'm fine, Ahmad, apart from a 25% loss, which is not huge. Again, it was a smaller position, but it's still never fun to have to cut a position, right? I never thought in my wildest dreams that UNH would be a stock that I would have to sell after being down 55% in a month. My position was not down 55%, but the stock was down 55%. All right, done posting that. I think if you send the live stream link, not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all, Evan. Let me do that actually. How do I do that? How do I do that? That's a great idea, Evan. All right. Also, guys, make sure you like the stream if you're in here. Getting a pretty decent amount of people on X, which is nice to see. All right, so we got this inversion here on the 1-minute chart. I'm looking to see if there's any major liquidity here, maybe on the hourly. We're trading into this bearish order block as well, and as filling this hourly fair value gap. I think this has the potential to be a driver down. If we get the 2-minute and 3-minute inversion here, I like the data lows. I think I would be willing to take this 1-minute inversion. I know we have a 2 and a 3 as well, but I think this is something I'd be willing to risk here. Maybe I'll just wait for the 2. So if this closes below, guys, I do like the risk to reward here. This is going to be a short position, targeting the data lows. And yeah, so we'll see what we get. And then if we do get a trade like this, and then we get a sweep of the data lows and then a great inversion to the upside, then that daily fair value gap would be a decent target for me. I'm a little bit cautious about this because, as you can see already, guys, the daily has already rebalanced a portion of this daily fair value gap, and obviously we are bullish, but we'll see how this plays out. I think this is good enough for me. We've swept a lot of liquidity here. We haven't swept London highs yet. Maybe if we get these two first, it'll be more optimal. Let me see if there's any equal highs in the market. Hold on. Yeah, no perfect equal highs. Oh, actually, we do have a set of perfect equal highs up here. Okay, so I will mark these because these are important, but we did sweep them. Oh, no, we didn't sweep them yet. That's the daily chart. Okay, so I am going to try this, guys, if we get it on the 2 minute. Let me make sure there's no extra news here that I'm missing. Hold on 1 second. Okay, economic calendar. 8:30 news, 8:40 news. Yeah, there's no other news. So I think this is a pretty decent short here. Gonna wait for the 2 minute to close below, obviously. But if it does, I'm going to be targeting the data lows, and then we'll go from there. So let's see what happens here. That a 2.5 to 1 RR trade. Okay, so we did not get the close below, unfortunately. How did the 3 minute look? The 1 minute we have not gotten to close either. So technically there's no entry here, guys. I'll have to wait for 7:12 to enter. But nonetheless, this looks pretty good. I just don't want to see this low get swept. If this low gets swept, I will be forced to not take this trade. But so far, I am liking it. It's just that every time this candle moves down, the RR it just gets worse and worse. Okay, so unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to get an entry here. The data low should probably still hit on this leg of price, but unfortunately, because this low got swept, there's no entry for me. There is another 1 minute fair value gap right here that you could enter, but now the RR becomes a lot worse. Okay, so you can see that we're bouncing out of, well, this is another 2 minute fair value gap, sorry. You were bouncing out of this 2 minute fair value gap. Let me look at the one quick. Yeah, the 1 and the 2 are the same. So yeah, really nothing for me just yet here, guys. Because this internal low got swept, I really can't enter on this leg of price because they could be using this to drive us up one more time, and then maybe we get another inversion on another leg of price. Again, there are so many scenarios that could play out as to how they take us down here, but this is the draw for me right now before I see anything higher. And then what's beautiful is we have equal highs up here and that daily high, right? The daily high is not showing up for some reason. That's odd. I guess it's, oh, sorry guys. It's from a previous, on the left of the chart, so don't worry about that. But this daily high right here is what I'm looking for. Okay, so we got the first 2 minute close below. And I believe we got the 3 minute as well. But I don't like this yet, guys, because we're bouncing out of the secondary 2. If you look at the 3, we have a tiny 3 minute fair value gap there. So still have to pay attention to that. If we do get the close below here, I mean, you can try this, but now the RR becomes a lot worse, right? And you'd basically have to keep your stop above both fair value gaps. So it's actually it's a negative RR trade, so it's not something I want to be a part of. So we're technically trading into this BPR now. Did we tap into it by a tick? Nope. If you guys want to try something a little better risk, you could try an entry into this 2-minute BPR and target this. That's a almost 4-to-1 RR trade. It's not my model, but that is something that will potentially work here. And then you would want to see this inverse to the downside as well, obviously. But this is not my model, so. Was there an ES SMT here? Look at the 2-minute. No, no SMT. Interesting. So what I would have to see, guys, to re-enter this now is another sweep of buy side and then another inversion. But if you really want to enter here on this BPR, you can. You just have to keep your stop above this internal buy side right here. By the way, guys, I have to take a look, but I think we're up on our covered calls from yesterday on Tesla. I also sold puts on Walmart in a personal account, so this is your entry, guys. If you're looking to take the 2022 model short, I'm not. But this is technically an entry short, targeting the data lows. Not a huge fan of it personally, but it could easily work. Wow, big rejection there. Pretty perfect, too. So this could be that leg of price that brings us all the way down here. Again, I'm not in the business of guessing. Technically, this is still a BPR and it's still an inversion, but... News? What news was it? I don't see any news on Forex Factory. Not at 10:15. Or was that a sarcastic comment? How is Coinbase doing? They they were victimized for a cyber attack. Coin. Down 6%. Not the worst. Okay, so this is potentially something to try here. If you want to keep your RR as a close back below, I don't think this is terrible, to be honest. This closes at 18. 3 different orange folder. There was definitely no orange folder. Guys, if you look at the calendar, today is the 15th. Orange folder happened at 8:30 in the morning. Nothing. They're all yellow folder, which means nothing to me. Okay, so it's a 2-star news and a 1-star. I assumed it was comparable to orange. No. Okay, so we're now completely bouncing out of this 2 again. This is why you have to wait for the close below the fair value gaps before you take a short. If you entered on this 2-minute BPR, you would have gotten stopped out for break even there. I don't know. I've been using Forex Factory since the beginning of time, and I don't think there's anything comparable, but they're normally pretty accurate. The only time that Forex Factory misses is because I look at all the Forex Factory news on a Sunday. Sometimes Trump will come in and start speaking somewhere. On what, Ahmad? On UNH? There, this is something that a lot of people don't understand. If a company has good fundamentals and there's no issues internally, then these daily fair value gaps, and first of all, we're not even in a daily fair value gap, but and financial juice is pretty good too, Javier. When a company is being indicted for Medicare fraud, okay, fair value gaps don't work. Look at this. Look at the 6-month here and the 12-month. We just completely collapsed below a yearly fair value gap. This has never, I don't think has ever happened in the history of UNH. Every time, I mean, this one wicked. So it has happened actually in the past. There has been a daily fair value gap that looked like it closed below and it holds. So for now, this is not normal. Okay, until we get a wick out of this, then I'll be concerned. But this is very rare for a company like this, and I don't think that they were being indicted for Medicare fraud here. So this is a bigger deal to me than just fair value gaps, and I have to protect my risk. Yeah, just keep trading news. ATP. What's ATP? Okay, so there is an inversion here to the upside. But I'm not taking this because my bias is currently bearish. At that point, bro, I don't know if this is millennial talk or what, but I'm lost. Or Gen Z talk, sorry. Oh, at that point. So if we create another order block here and reject this inversion, I think this is a decent trade as well. Wait for the 2-minute close, obviously, and then you're looking at a 1.5 to 1 RR trade. I'll probably take this small size. Wow. So if you guys want to take this long, in theory, this can drive up to this high. But again, because my bias is bullish, I mean, my bias is bearish, this is not something that I'm looking to hit. Again, if it hits, great. But here's the issue a lot of people face, okay? If you don't stick to a bias, like for example right now, I'm pretty set on this data low getting hit. So unless something so obvious happens that changes that thesis, there's no reason for me to just keep flipping biases. Yes, you can flip biases on a dime if you're kind of unsure on the draw of liquidity, but I know a lot of the time that this ends up being a dump. So they try and generate liquidity to the upside and then they completely dump it. So, oh, let me quickly, hold on one second, guys. Appreciate whoever is blessing me. Big long. I just posted a link to the Discord for those that want to join. Somebody DM'd me just now. All right, so again, in theory, this 2-minute inversion should drive us up to the internal buy side here, but because my bias is bearish, until we sweep this data low, I'm not looking for longs. I don't get confused easily. I don't get swayed too easily about this type of thing. Okay, sometimes you get inversions that completely fail. And this is one of the ones that I think will probably fail, but again, it doesn't matter to me. Bruh. I'm not into the wokeism. Say what you want. Bless you. It's not going to kill anybody. People are so... this is what I don't understand in this day and age. People are so freaking weak. They're literally so weak and they get offended by everything. It's wild to me. Even like people on YouTube, I see people making like stupid comments or something that's offensive to the person that's streaming, like, "Oh, your hair looks bad. Oh, you're looking wrinkly. That's a shitty trade." Like, who cares? It's just a bunch of comments on the internet. What does it matter? Bless you. Oh no, you're not God. Like, what the hell does that even mean? Just like everyone's just gotta chill, you know? Sorry, bro. Didn't mean to offend you, man. Alright, so there is another 1-minute inversion here. Pretty large in size. I kind of like this, because this would also mean that the 2-minute fails. So the 2-minute BPR. So a BPR to the downside, a BPR to the upside. If this fails, then that could be the driver to bring us lower to that data low. Maybe I'll try this with a micro if we get it. But we'll see what happens here. The 3-minute also inverts to the upside. I think this is probably going to fail and go down. So if we do get a close below this bullish fair value gap, the volume imbalance, Don't think this is a bad short. I'm going to try this, guys, if we get it. So yeah, let's see what we get here. By Dane Cook. What's by Dane Cook? Okay, so we've got just under 5 seconds till this candle close. Let's see if we get it. No close below. So my guess is that this 1 minute candle is just going to drive us through, but there's nothing I can do about it. I don't even know who Dane Cook is. Sorry, guys. I'm uneducated. Okay, so if this 1 minute closes below, this should probably drive us down to the data lows. That's my guess here. But we got 30 seconds till the close, so we'll see if I even get an entry on it. Again, this is going to be smaller size. I don't think this is... I would say this is about a 6.5, 7 out of 10, because there wasn't a major liquidity sweep here, but we already got it earlier. So I'm willing to try this if we get it. Okay, hold on. All right, I'm entering here. Bruh. So I'm doing this with small size. This is on a funded account. You're not looking at the funded account right now. I'm not trading with 2NQ. Stop loss will be a close back above this. Why is it giving me the highlights like this? Okay. So the thesis here is that we're going to drive down to the data lows. And yeah, we inversed a bullish fair value gap. So we should come down and sweep this low at minimum, and then hopefully this low, and then close below this 1 minute fair value gap too. So I'm just going to look and see what the reactions are like. Why do you think big name traders like Tanya, Patrick, Matt stream on YouTube instead of using paid membership on Discord? I don't know. Do they not have their own Discords? Does Tanya stream on YouTube every day? That's wild. I don't know. Initially for me, I don't know. Some people that aren't not familiar with the stream. I started out my YouTube channel with all my long-term plays, and my X account as well was all my long-term positions and swing trades. So I didn't even do day trading live until, I don't know, 8 months ago. No, 10 months ago. So that's relatively new. A lot of the people in my community are in there for my long-term alerts, not for my day trading. Okay, so this is another internal low being swept here. I'm going to reduce my my position here short. Okay, now that that low has been swept, guys, I am going to move my stop to break even here. So I'm going to move my stop on my fundeds. And if this ends up dumping here, excellent. If not, and I get stopped out, so be it. But I would love to see this just drive all the way down. What I am going to do is I'm going to sell a portion of the position right here. So if we do get this low, I will, buy back. And then I will buy the rest of the data lows. And yeah, this is a free trade. If you guys aren't already familiar with with my trading, I move my stops to break even fairly quickly. So I do get stopped for break even quite a bit, but at the end of the day, getting stopped to break even is a lot better than losing money in my view. Yes, I miss out on some moves because of it, but I think it's a good strategy in the long run. Okay, beautiful. Hopefully I get filled on one order here. So we didn't quite get the low. We touched the body and we're getting a wick out of it, which I'm not a huge fan of, but that's all right. Yes, I am selling or buying back 50% because this is a short, guys. So hopefully we don't get stopped at break even here. There is a tiny 1 minute fair value gap here that could get filled. But yes, we're buying back the position. I'm reducing my risk by half when this internal low gets swept. Unfortunately, the body here is reacting, so I'm not a huge fan of that. A lot of the times that comes out and stops me out, but it's fine. Again, my ultimate target is that data low, so we'll see if we get a nice fill. My entry is right next to the order block here, so it's possible that we come up and tap into the OB and then go down. But this looks pretty good to me so far. We'll see. Whoops. Okay, so let's see if we get it. Wow, guys, there's 3 people watching on YouTube? What? There's 21 people in here and only 3 of them are on YouTube. I better start streaming more on X, bro. It just sucks because I can't put a thumbnail on YouTube, so I feel like a lot of people don't click on videos if there's no thumbnail. No, nobody's chatting on X. Okay, so there should be TP1. Beautiful. All right. So I got 50% of the position off here. I am going to move my stop lower here so that I at least book additional profits on the remainder of the position. And then I'm going to hold it all the way down to the data lows here. Let's see if we get the full TP. Ugh. But beautiful trade so far. Free trade, half profits booked. The rest is going to be booked as well. Even if we hit this high, then I will be stopped for an extra 225 per contract on this on NQ. But obviously my position on my fundeds are not 2 NQs. And there's the stop out for the rest, which is fine. Again, I'm not too concerned about that. Not concerned. I'm not too sad about that because we still booked some profits on it. Yes, it would have been a larger win, but hopefully this was not just a quick stab to stop people out, but it's fine. Maybe we get another setup later. Good trade, guys. That'll probably be the only trade I personally take. I'll call out other stuff, but we'll see what happens with the rest of this. Wow, Toyota forecasted a 21% profit decline for the current financial year. That's wild. Evan, sweep that low, sweep that low. Hopefully, bro, if your entry was still here, you still have a chance of this working. For sure. But if they're going to reverse the market, sometimes they do it here, they bring it back up, and then they create another inversion setup later. So I still want this low to get swept, but like I said, sometimes what they'll do is they'll bring the market back up in this general leg of price. They'll even bring it back up past the high of day, and then you'll get another inversion setup later. So I'm not a huge fan of it consolidating here right at this low, but it is what it is. Oh, 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 oh. Equal low? No equal lows, Evan. No equal lows that I see here. And oh, hold on. Yes, there are perfect equal lows here. My bad. You are correct. There are perfect equal lows here on NQ. So this gives me even more confidence these are going to hit. Good find, Evan. I wouldn't have seen that, honestly. So we're trading into this bearish 1 minute fair value gap here. Hopefully that is what is used to drive us lower. But if we do end up getting a trade back up here, guys, I'll probably re-enter something. Because then the R will be way better and we'll... Like, this could easily be another liquidity generating event somewhere in here to get another inversion to the downside. Then we can target the equal lows and the data lows. In the yellow submarine. Na, 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 na. In the yellow. Bro, the songs that pop into my mind. No, it's okay, Evan. Don't worry about it. I have enough indicators on my charts, but I appreciate it. Dude, UNH non-stop break. So I sold my position this morning, and we're already down an extra 5%. Doesn't get a break. Yeah, so what I think is probably going to happen here is we're going to come up and sweep these highs here. These are not equal. They're close to equal, though. And then maybe we get another short setup later on. But you can see we're in a BPR here on the 2 minute and the 1 minute. I think there was a 3 minute BPR as well. No, there's not. But we're trading into this bearish 3 minute gap right now. If we inverse this to the upside, though, I'll be a little more cautious. But ideally, if we can sweep some more buy side here, then I'll look for another short. Guys, if you're in the stream, make sure you like the stream, chat, do whatever, blah, 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 blah. So far I'm looking here on the 1 minute. I do not see any setups to the downside to target these equal highs, equal lows yet. Wow. I just saw a picture of the new Model Y in the same gold that the RoboCab, the Cybercab is in. Looks really nice. There's another set of lows at 21225. No, it does not invalidate the if there's two sets of equal lows, then likely both will hit. Wow. Good find, Evan. Again, guys, I don't really... I'm more so look for equal highs. In fact, this morning I should have looked for equal lows as well. They're not of utmost important, but they are important, obviously. But I am not going to be looking for anything bullish until this data low gets swept. And if the equal lows get swept as well, even better. But this is my... I know, Evan. But this is my target. You see, you don't really need the equal lows if you have data lows. Data lows are more important than equal lows, by the way. But still, they still matter. 21, 374.50 equal highs. Oh, 374.50. I didn't see those. Wow. I haven't looked this morning. That's crazy. Yeah, Evan, maybe I do need the indicator. I thought my vision was better than it is. Wow. So I spotted the ones above, but I didn't see these ones. Very interesting. So I'd love to see these hit today, but in reality, I'd rather see the data lows hit first. So definitely a tough spot to be in. We have equal lows and equal highs above us, but I think right now, I mean, if you look at the hourly chart, for example, guys, we had a huge move up. So the odds that we've already had a few consolidation periods and we did sweep a bunch of lows already, but I do still want to see these data lows get hit. I probably will not enter another short. Again, we already booked profits on one, so I'm already green on the day, so there's no need to really be pushing for another trade. But if we do get another inverse to the downside and we sweep these, then I will probably look for some longs today. I think that's a pretty good option. There is a bunch of 3 minutes inverting to the upside here too, so technically this could be the driver that brings us up through all of this and then to the equal highs, but I'm not going to be looking for longs until these data lows get swept. So, yeah. Okay, so there was a 3-minute inversion to the upside here, guys. Could you take this if you want and target this high, and this high, and then equal highs? Yes, you can. I am not going to until the data lows get swept, personally. Wow, UNH down at 249, 250. Okay, so the 3-minute closed above here by just a couple ticks. And now we are retrading into the 3-minute inversion. Again, I'm not taking this long. Even if it works, it's not a concern to me. My bias is still bearish for the time being. We never swept the data lows. And until we do, I don't trust any inversions to the upside. I think it's better to learn which inversions are best to take. And definitely in this type of situation where you have an obvious draw on liquidity below you, I would not trust bullish fair value gaps. Bullish inversions. And also, what's beautiful, guys, is that I already took a short. I already booked profits. And so I don't need... I don't need to enter anything. Okay, so everyone that took that 3-minute inversion is at now probably sweating because they're like, oh boy, what did I do? But we'll see if it ends up holding. We got a minute till the candle closes. Oh, thanks for posting that TradingView script, Evan. Appreciate it. Okay, so the 3-minute is holding so far, even though we wicked down here. Technically, this is still a valid long, but again, I'm not taking it. Been too many times where I've tried to take longs with data lows below us, and it fails, and you get smoked. So I've learned my lesson over lots of years of trial and error. Yes, sometimes the data lows do not get swept, but that's a risk that I'm not willing to take. Oh, come on, market. Let's just... What I really want to see is this fail so that people can learn their lesson. It's happened to me before. And it's nice too, guys, because a lot of the times when you follow your rules, I already took a valid trade and I took profits on the short side. I'm not as enticed to take this trade because I already have profits for the day. Not trying to lose money taking poor quality setups. Excuse me. Okay, so the 3-minute inversion is still working here. Again, could it work? Sure. Is it something that I really want to be taking? Absolutely not. Not with hard-earned cash. But in theory, if you're in this, I mean, your stop should probably be below this order block. And then this would be the target right here, and right here. Then we do have equal highs above, guys. But again, I'm not going to be taking any long setups until I see this data low get swept. And if that means not taking any more trades for the day, that's fine. We already booked. How many points was that? We took... We were able to book how many points here? I think we were able to book... Was that only 21 points? I booked 30 points plus a little bit more on the secondary contract that got stopped out. So... And you can see the discipline. No other trades taken. That's it. Should I leave the executions on the screen so you guys can see them? I think if you hover over it, it'll tell you where too. Yeah. So we booked about 40 points, give or take. But you can see the 3-minute inversion is working. Order block formed. This high, and this high are like the next. If this ends up pumping to all these equal highs, so be it. But that's not something I need to be a part of. Bitcoin trading back down into this daily fair value gap. What's Tesla doing? Tesla down to 337. Okay, so our covered calls are finally in profit, I think. Yes, they are. Good to see that. Okay, so there's that internal high. Congrats if you took that trade, guys. I really wish it would have failed to teach a lesson, but it is what it is. And do not settle now and think that we're going to just keep pumping all the way. Could we? Sure. But the reality is we're probably still going to end up testing this data low today, most likely. And what I'm really hoping for is that we leave these two sets of equal highs. Maybe we sweep this internal high, then we dump, and then we sweep the data lows and we get another A+ long later in the day. If that happens, that is the only thing that I would consider taking here, really. Do 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 do. Okay, so there's that first internal high. Second internal high has not hit yet. It might. And then if the third internal high hits, you should be booking some of your profits here, and then you would probably just hold runners in case these hit. But again, I'm not convinced of anything yet until these data lows get swept, and then from there I'll look for a long. But this is definitely building a lot of liquidity to both sides here, so we'll see which one gets hit. But it is, of my opinion, today could still be a consolidation day, and they'll smoke people who are trying to go long. I would not be interested in taking this long, especially now. All right, so the 3-minute inversion is working to the upside. But again, still not concerned, still not interested in taking the longs until the data low gets swept. I know it's hard to believe sometimes that this could still hit, but that could easily happen. And again, it's not like I haven't taken a trade today, so it's fine. At least I've booked some profits. It obviously would be harder to watch this if I hadn't booked profits, but nonetheless, you'd still have to stay disciplined, right? Okay, so a pretty big push up there. I wonder if this inversion is going to be what takes us back down. So congrats to those who took that 3-minute inversion. It did work, and we're probably going to hit these equal highs now. If we miss it by a tick or so, and then we inverse this to the downside, don't be surprised if we get another short, but I think I'll probably be done for the day realistically after that, because these are probably going to hit now. Okay, so very close to sweeping the equal highs. And again, why is this something that I'm not interested in? Number one, my bias was bearish. I took a short here. We booked about 40 points. Once that low got swept, I said to you guys that I normally don't like to see this because if it happens and we bounce out of it, we normally go back up to these highs. Now, does that mean that when it's 100% guaranteed and that I would take the long? Absolutely not. Here we got the 3-minute inversion, created the order block, and then we continued higher. Could this happen? Again, it did, and I said that it's possible, but more times than not, these are fake inversions and we sweep the data lows. Now that this has happened, we've come super close to these equal highs. There is still a chance that we fail here and we go down to these equal lows and the data lows. But really, I'm not interested in taking anything else here. I already booked my profits for the day. I wanted to see these get swept first to then target the equal highs. Yeah, very tough situation to be in here because even if this closes below, it could also be a fake out to drive back up to the equal highs. What I'd rather see is these equal highs left, then a sweep of these equal lows and data lows, and then a setup to go back up. So I'd rather see, I mean, I can draw the path for you guys here if you want. So for example, right now, if we come super close to that high, we don't hit it, we inverse this, what's probably going to happen is something like this. And then from there, we can look for another long to target the equal highs. But I'm telling you, don't be surprised. If this ends up failing, don't be surprised if we come all the way back down here before hitting these equal highs. Seen it happen plenty of times. Wow. By the way, I'm very curious because it's saying that I have 30 people in here right now. I'm guessing the majority of them are from X. If you were watching this on X, comment 1. Just so I can see if there's even a single person from X that's not a bot. Okay, so if we don't get the candle to touch these equal highs in the next few candles, I am much more inclined to believe that this is going to happen. But if we do get it on this next like 1 or 2 candles, then we're probably going to go up to the secondary set of equal highs too. But I'm still not convinced that this is a full-blown bullish move here. So again, 40 points booked. If this inverses, I mean, I might take this with a micro, to be honest. That's an amazing trade. I mean, the RR is incredible. It's a 5-to-1. And again, the only way that I'll really consider this is if we consolidate here and we do not hit the equal highs and we leave this wick, and then we fail this, that tells me that we're likely to go down. And then you can also target this low if you want the lower hanging fruit. By lower hanging fruit, I mean the easier target. But what's really going to, if this ends up happening, we're likely to go all the way down to the data lows as well. So we shall see. I might take this with a micro. So this, if you're in this long, guys, I would be very concerned here because we came very close to the equal highs and now we're consolidating right above it. Could this easily spike up? Yes, but you should probably be booking some profits right here because if this fails, we're going to go all the way back down most likely and we're going to stop out your long positions. So keep that in mind. And again, if you're long from here, okay, you've already booked, not booked, but you're already in profit. I hate this magnet tool sometimes. You're in profit 44 points right now. Are you really that concerned with getting an extra 10 points when you booked 44? give or take, 14 points. You might as well take some off if you haven't yet, and then hold the rest of it to the equal highs if you want. But you're going to be really upset if you waited all this time for this long setup and then it fails and you're going to get stopped out of your position. So I hope that makes sense, guys. And yeah, now I'm convinced that everyone on X is a bot. Okay, so there's the spike. If we come up again like this and we miss it, I would be super concerned here. So this next candle, there you go. So there's the equal highs. Now that these have swept, we are likely to go up to the secondary ones. If we get another failure here, I'm not as inclined to take this anymore that these equal highs have been swept, but could still work. Can't believe Foot Locker's up 85%. How's the rest of the Mag 7 doing? Boeing is up nicely. If you're in Boeing or Disney, I think you're going to have some very nice upside over the coming weeks. Just a heads up. Google, also another trade that I think is pretty good here for those of you guys who are interested in some blue chip trades. If you look at Google on the daily chart, we did inverse this daily fair value gap yesterday. So what I think is going to happen here is this is probably a pullback day. I'm going to be entering some short dated calls, I think, on Google here. And I'm going to be targeting this high and this high right here. Which gives you a potential 6%, 7% upside. With short-dated calls, this will be a nice print. So like expiring a week and a half from now, targeting this high and this high, I think that'll be a very good trade. I'll post that in the Discord, obviously, if I take it. But now is the time to do so. On the hourly chart, you can see we traded into this bullish hourly fair value gap. If you get another sweep of this low, that's another good time to enter, in my opinion. Or if we trade back into this daily inversion, then that's another good spot to take it. But to me, this is displacement above a high, and I think these are coming. We have a lot of gaps, and we even have a gap here on Google up in the 206 area. I think that's all-time highs, right? That I think will fill. So yeah, I will let you guys know about that. And yeah, so right now, nothing that I see. There is another inversion here that appeared, but again, we have another set of equal highs above here that will most likely hit. If you guys want to try a really good RR short, which I don't really suggest because, again, we have equal highs above, but if we get a very large down close candle here, you can try entering the short and your TP1, or I would move my stop to break even in this 1 minute fair value gap, and then I would hold it all the way down to here, here, and here. So we'll see what happens with that. Okay, so here is the potential dump. I'm itching to kind of take this, to be honest. I mean, we can risk about 10 20 points out of the 40 to potentially book another 124 points. That's a pretty good risk reward, if you ask me. But I would need to see a pretty big displacement candle here. But I do like this, I'm not going to lie. Yes, we have equal highs above us, but again, guys, they don't have to hit. We're in this consolidation phase after a big hourly move. You can see here we had a huge move here, and so this could be a consolidation phase where we come back and sweep a lot of lows. Yeah, this is a tough call for sure. So far, obviously, nothing is showing that that's going to hit, but if we do get this inversion, still not a bad trade in my opinion. But obviously nothing is telling me that we're getting this, and these green candles are indicating that we're probably going to come up and sweep equal highs in the daily fair value gap. So it is what it is. If we don't get it, we don't get it. My friend, you overlooked the daily BISI price took support. What are you talking about, Ahmed? Are you talking about the NQ chart or the UNH chart? Oh, NQ? Yeah, I mean, I already pointed out that there was a daily that we bounced out of here, but that's still not for sure an indicator that we're going to continue higher. We can still easily come down and sweep this data low today, just letting you guys know. I know that's hard to believe, but it's definitely possible still. And again, I was able to book profits. Not as many points as I wanted, but still 40 points is 40 points. Yeah, I saw that, Ahmad, but again, just because you're in a short and I'm in a buy doesn't mean that both of us are one of us is gonna win and one of us is gonna lose. I'm happy that you were able to book your profits there, but I have seen many situations where we tap into a daily fair value gap and we end up making a new low on the day. So, again, you happen to be correct this time, and I'm glad. One thing that I will also suggest, never talk in absolutes in the market. Things can change in the blink of an eye. So even right now, guys, we could be consolidating here to now create an inverse and still go down on the day. Yes, the odds of it going back down are less likely, but we could still come back down to this data low, and we could still come down and sweep all of these. for sure. And I think that was a good choice, Ahmed. If you were in longs here, again, personally, this is just how I view the market today. But yeah, sometimes you are correct and sometimes you're not. KN, can you explain on the equal highs? Yes, equal highs and equal lows in the market are perfect levels. So if you guys saw earlier, Evan actually pointed these ones out. I didn't see them. But you can see here, these are two perfect equal highs here. If you look at the H at the top of the screen right here, that's open, high, low, and close. The high of this candle comes out to 21,374.50. 21,374.50. The high of this candle comes out at 21,374.50. So when you see perfect equal highs like that, we have another setup here. They are a magnet for price. But today, we also had perfect equal lows on the market. So right here, we still have a set of perfect equal lows. We have data lows, and then we have another set of perfect equal lows right here. And then this is London low. These are not equal lows, but these are still a magnet for price. So we could easily make a full reversal on the day here. Again, is it less likely now? Yes, but it's still possible. Bum, 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 bum. Does that make sense, KN? Closed at true day open. Very nice, bro. Guys, if you're in the stream, make sure you like. It really helps the algorithms. But yeah. So this is obviously very likely to hit the equal highs. If we get another inversion at some point today, then yes, we can look for another short. But right now, this looks like Ahmed had pointed out, we balanced this daily fair value gap or tapped into it, not a full rebalance. And now it looks like we're going to come up and sweep the next daily high, which you can look at right here is right there. So so now that the equal highs have swept, it's possible still that we come down here, but more realistically, guys, it looks like that daily fair value gap is going to drive us up to this. The daily candle looks like it's going to drive us up to this daily fair value gap. Yeah, so I think what another trade you can consider taking here. I do like this short still. And targets could be 50% and OTE. Yeah, I'm wondering if this is actually going to be what drives us down here. This is a pretty decent 1-for-1. And a 2-for-1 here, if we get the close below. There's a tiny 1-minute inversion here, which is not half bad, I will be honest. But I prefer to see this one close below. Okay, and equal highs can be on any time frame, but primarily when I see them, it's on the 1-minute, the 3-minute, and the 5-minute. Okay, so we're coming down to rebalance this one here. If we close below this, I think this is a pretty decent 1-for-1 scalp. My target would be the 50% of the leg, and then the OTE. So there's the tap into the 1. Just want to see what we're looking like on the hourly chart here. Pretty strong inversion there to the upside on the hourly. 4 hour forming a potential OB. Gonna go to the gym, then kayaking. Nice, Evan. Appreciate you being here, bro, and enjoy that. I'll see you guys, see you tomorrow or whenever else you guys decide to join, but I'm gonna stay on for a bit longer. I did take my trade for the day. Again, we booked 40 points. I'm not too concerned about taking another trade, but I do want to see how we react here from this 1-minute bullish OB. Again, the primary draw here is that daily gap, and from here, we're looking at... Bro, this magnet tool. It's a blessing and a curse. We're looking at another 63 points here. Yeah, I'm debating what to do here. I don't think I'm going to take another trade realistically, but I would still love to see a tap into 50% and the OTE of the leg of price. Unless we make a new high here, then obviously no. But if we come up like this with this green candle and we close back below here and create another... Hello? What just happened? Where are my RRs? That was weird. Did anyone see that? I had 2 risk-reward hypotheticals open here, or projections, and they both disappeared. That was weird. Hello? What the hell? Hello? Am I still live? Hello.